I'm here with Jason from Ingested to talk about Ingested, the new tour that you guys are finishing off across North America, and maybe go back a little bit to the last tour that you guys did with Lorna Shore, since it's been only a couple of months, at least it feels like a couple of months since you guys have been here. But first of all, thank you for taking the time and being on the channel. How's things going with you?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on the channel. Things are going fantastic. Like you said, we're pretty much at the end of our North American headline tour with Devourment, Extermination, Dismemberment and Organectomy. Like, the shows have been absolutely amazing. Loads of them have been sold out. In fact, this whole last week, the whole last week of the tour is sold out. Like, so I mean, every band's been crushing it. The crowds have been amazing. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this tour's gone.
So you guys are living up to the moniker of 2023 Slam Tour of the Year.
Absolutely. Like, there is
you guys
no
took it to word. Like, you know, if we're gonna call the tour that, we better deliver every night.
Oh yeah, and we've all delivered every night. There is no more brutal tour than this all year. Like, you will not come to a heavier, more brutal, more slammy tour than this tour that's happening right now.
So when you guys were putting this tour together, are you involved in terms of who the bands are going to be on the bill? And and is that kind of part of the thought process that, hey, if we're going to make this tour run, we got to make it special and really give fans something that otherwise they wouldn't see on any given day? Is that kind of part of the thought process for you going into picking the bands?
Well, when we were selecting the bands for this tour, we knew what direction we wanted this tour to go in, because like the last tours that we've done have been more like predominantly like deathcore bands, and as much as we love that scene and we love deathcore music and all those bands, we wanted our headline tour to be where our roots are. And our roots are, even though we do delve into like deathcore and more like modern death metal and stuff like that, but our roots, where we came from, is like underground, brutal death metal. Like, that's where we came from, and that's what we wanted this tour to be. We wanted it to be like a proper celebration of like brutal underground slam death metal, and I think we've knocked it out of the park, to be honest. Like.
And considering the sellout dates, is that something that you look at as one of the barometers of a successful tour, or do you look at merch sales or, you know, other things that can define what a successful tour is for you?
I think it's a little bit of everything. So obviously, having sold out shows is excellent. That's what every band wants. Selling loads of merch, obviously, that's also what bands want, because that's where we earn our wages. That's how we earn a living. Like, that's how we pay the bills. So, yeah. But I mean, for me as an artist, like, if I wasn't looking at like the business side of things, which is like obviously the ticket sales and the merch sales, for me as like a performer, a successful show to me is an utterly wild crowd. Because like, as a frontman, like, I feed off the energy that the crowd gives me. So if they're all going mental, then I'll be having an awesome time. Like, but if they're a bit quiet, a bit subdued, I'll have a shit night, because that's shit for me. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I want to see people going berserk. So yeah, so business side, obviously, ticket sales and merch sales, that's the barometer of success. But the artist, the performer in me, is all about the crowd reaction.
Did the tour with Lorna Shore help you guys redefine what the set list for a headlining tour was going to be, or these are two separate tours, two separate sets of crowds and fans, and you look at them completely different?
Well, for this tour, because, like I said, we wanted it to be like a celebration of like our roots, the scene that we came from, the bands that are in that brutal underground slam death scene. We picked we selected songs for this set that are more reflective of our roots. So it's like, it's the slammier ones, it's the heavy ones, it's the brutal ones. Whereas with like touring with Lorna Shore, we knew that we were going to be getting exposed to a lot of fans who would have never even heard of us. So we tried to construct a set that we thought would impress first-time listeners to us. Whereas this set's like brutal for this tour.
Is there a song, maybe from the new record or just in general, that you feel like, man, I don't care how dead the crowd is, when that track hits, the whole place goes just off the charts?
Yeah, Echoes of Hate. When we play that, that's like towards the end. Like when we play that, the crowd goes nuts. Like, because it's like the very end of it is like, it's like laughably brutal. So it's like the slam will hit, and then you think it's over, and it's not over, and then you think it's over, and then it's not over, and it's just utterly ridiculous, and the vocals just go super brutal, and everything just slows down, and it just becomes crushingly heavy. So yeah, off the new album, when we play that, like, people usually lose their minds a little bit.
And how's been the reception from fans from the new tracks, from the new record? Because you played a few of them on the last tour, obviously, but you have a little bit more room to wiggle now. And you had perhaps a little bit more time to digest the fans' reaction. So what do you feel has been the feedback from fans when it comes to the new tracks?
Really good. Really good. Yeah, so the reaction to the new album's been absolutely fantastic. It's our Metal Blade Records debut, which is so exciting for us, because it's like we've always wanted to be on Metal Blade. Like, since we started this band, when it was like, we were like, what, 17 years old? Like, I'm 36 now. Like,
I was going to say, wasn't that like 2 years ago?
Time.
2 years ago?
It feels like a million years ago, but yeah, it's just, it's really exciting. Like, we've got so much more new music coming as well. And yeah, the reaction to the album's just been wild.
From a North America standpoint, you guys have had 2 extremely successful tours, a successful record. Do you feel like you're riding this incredible wave right now, like that is just outstanding? Like it goes beyond your wildest expectations, and do you try to take some time to really savor the moment? Because you know, when you're in a band, not every single tour is successful, not every single record hits with fans. Are you taking some time to think a little bit deeper and enjoying the moment that you guys are currently on?
Yeah. It's like you said, it's peaks and troughs, and like we've been a band now for like 17, 18 years. So we've seen it up, we've seen it down. Like at the moment, everything seems to be heading up, which is an amazing feeling, because it's like, it finally feels like all the hard work, all the sacrifice, everything that we've done to get to this point is like now finally starting to pay dividends. Like, this is our most successful American tour ever. Like, we've never done a headline tour over here where it's just sell out. Like, so yeah, it's a really good feeling, but it's like, we try not to, like, we make plans, obviously, like everything's like planned out, like our years are like planned out like a year ahead. But as far as like riding the wave, I'm just enjoying it each day as it comes. Like every show, I'll just enjoy each show as it comes, and yeah, I'm just super happy. Like, to be fair, like, because it's like we have been a band for like so long, and like we've ate shit for a long time, like a long time. We've never been given anything, we've never been handed anything, we've never had any like leg ups, nobody's ever gifted us anything. Like everything we've got, we've scratched and fought tooth and nail to get, and like we've earned it. And yeah, it's just a really good feeling right now.
I can tell in your face that like you're super happy with the moment that you're in, and I saw you today walking outside, taking pictures with fans, talking to people. You don't see that every day from bands at all, especially when you're on a headlining tour. Is that part of who you are? Like you're just that kind of guy? Like you don't see yourself as, hey, I'm in the band, so I'm gonna just chill backstage. I don't want to see anybody. No, you go out there.
No, I'll always go out. Like every night, like when we finish our set, like I'll sit on the edge of the stage and I'll talk to people and I'll like take photos with people and sign whatever they want. Like, cause I don't have an ego. Like I don't like. Do you know what I mean? I'm not in this to be famous or be like super rich or whatever. I just want to be able to pay my bills, make sure my wife and kids have got a roof over their head. And for me, like personally, like I'm just a person. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not like above or below anybody else. Like, and yeah, like I said, I'm not bothered about like fame or anything like that. Like all I give a shit about is that when this whole Ingested ride comes to an end, is that people look back and go, fucking hell, they were one of the best death metal bands on this fucking planet. That's all I give a shit about. And it's like, so for me, like just taking photos and meeting people and signing stuff and just chatting with fans and stuff, it's like, I like doing that because it's sort of like, if it weren't for our fans, we'd have nothing. Like, we'd have nothing. I wouldn't be able to do this as a job. I wouldn't be able to do what I love, like, as a career. I wouldn't be able to pay my bills by doing this. So it's like, if I can like, make someone's day by, like, having a photo or signing something or just even chatting to them or whatever, it's like, that feels good to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like I can give something back.
Yeah, and I know everybody talks about bands when they're on tour saying, oh, you guys are so lucky, you get to travel all over the place. We all know that most of the time all you see is backstage, and that's pretty much it. But have you had a chance of doing some tourist stuff on this tour?
Yeah, like we've gone and seen like a couple of like movie locations and stuff. Like we went to the apartment block out Child's Play. We did some others, I can't remember what they were.
I think you did some Terminator stuff too. I think I saw some.
Yeah, Sean, I was asleep because it was like.
Oh, was it Sean? I saw some pictures.
Yeah, it was like 4 a.m. and he was like, "Oh, we're going to that part of the LA River, like where they did Terminator 2," and I was like, "Yeah, wake me up." And he obviously couldn't wake me up, so I just.
We could barely wake you up today to do this interview.
I know,
so
I'm a sleepy man, though. like I'm the sleep king. Like,
listen, I know all about beauty sleep. I need as much as I can get to. Like with a face like this, you need all the beauty sleep that you can get. So I'm not passing judgment, but you got to see some shit.
Yeah, we went. Where did we go? Oh, we had like a day off in Florida. It was like a travel day. Our driver Alan gets annoyed when I call it a day off. He's like, "It's not a day off." I'm like, "Well, it is for me, but not for you." But we had a day off in Florida, and we went to an alligator farm.
Wow,
that was really cool. And then we had a travel day from Denver to Chicago. So we stopped in Omaha, Nebraska, because it's like pretty much like halfway on the route, so that our driver could get some sleep. So we got an Uber and went to Omaha Zoo, and we just spent all day in the zoo. That was cool. Yeah, we usually we don't really get to see much, but like on this one, we've kind of like tried to make an effort to like enjoy some of the places that we're in. Like, so I think it's more for our own like sanity. More than anything, like, because it's like at this point now, we've pretty much been on tour for like nearly, well, it'll be 13 weeks now, because we did a European tour with Cannibal Corpse and Dark Funeral just before this, and that was 7 weeks, and that was amazing. And then we went home for a couple of days, and then immediately came out on this one, which is like another 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, like we've tried to like make sure that we actually go and do some stuff rather than just RV, venue, backstage, show, load out, RV. Like that's usually the day. Like, So yeah, we've made a bit more of an effort to like go out and see some stuff on this stuff.
So my last question for you is this: with only a couple more shows left, is it bittersweet for you? Because on one hand, you get to go back home to your family.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this fun ride that you've been on across North America, it's coming to an end. So how do you deal with that? With that bittersweetness of it?
It's really weird because it's like it's like I love my job, but I miss my family so much. Like, do you know what I mean? So I really want to go home. I want to see my wife. I want to see my kids. So I'm really looking forward to that because, like I said, like I've been away now pretty much for like 13 weeks, and so that like I'm super looking forward to going home. But it's like because when you're on tour and you spend every day with like the same people, like, you know, all the guys out of the bands who were on the tour and stuff, it's like you become like really close. So then when the tour's over, it's like, oh, that's weird, like I'm not seeing these guys today, I'm not seeing, do you know what I mean? So it's like you do miss people, but the upside of it is that you form these bonds and these relationships, these friendships that they last forever because you've spent so much time, because it's very like your friendships are like very intense because you with each other all day for like a whole month, and then you won't see them again for like a year or whatever, and then like you might play a show in their town and then they'll come out to the show and shit, but you'll be friends forever. Like, so it's cool, but the weird, I'll tell you what is weird, when you're on tour for ages and then you go home, like I don't know whether it's just me, I don't know whether any other people in bands can relate, but like when I go home and I go into my house, I always feel like my house looks different, even though it doesn't. Like it's really weird. I can't really describe like the feeling. It's like I'll be like, oh, why is the kitchen different? And then my wife will be like, it's not. And I'm like, nah. Like, but I guess it's because it's a familiar environment that I haven't seen for so long that when I get back to that environment, it like looks alien or feels alien. It's really weird.
Takes some time to adjust.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, Jason, thank you very much for your time today, man. I was going to say best of luck with the rest of the tour, but there's only like a couple of shows and they're sold out, so I don't think you need any luck on that standpoint. So thank you very much for taking the time today. Congratulations on this incredible North American tour that you guys headlined. I hope to see you guys soon again because, you know, you guys always bring such a great performance, such great energy to the stage. So I'm always in awe of what you guys do when you guys are performing.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time and see you soon.
Thank you so much. Cheers for having me. It's been a pleasure.